Imagine standing on the deck of a battleship as one of the largest guns ever mounted on a warship prepares to fire. The Iowa class. Battleships were among the most powerful ships ever built by the United States Navy. These ships first entered service during World War II and later returned during the Gulf War. Each battleship carried 9 giant, 16-inch guns mounted in 3 armored turrets. Every shell fired by these guns weighed over 2,000 pounds. The guns could hit targets more than 20 miles away. But before the gun fired, an entire loading and firing sequence had to happen inside the ship. Deep below the turrets were the ammunition magazines. This is where the giant shells and powder bags were stored. The magazines were heavily protected because one explosion could destroy the entire battleship. When the order to prepare the guns was given, powered hoists lifted the massive shell upward from the magazine. The shell traveled through several levels inside the turret. Each turret had multiple decks filled with machinery and crew members. Dozens of sailors worked together inside cramped metal compartments. The shell finally reached the loading position behind the gun barrel, but the shell alone could not fire the weapon. Next came the powder bags. Unlike modern tank rounds, the Iowa class used silk powder bags filled with propellant. Several powder bags were loaded behind each shell. This was one of the most dangerous parts of the process. A single spark could ignite the powder. To prevent accidents, the battleships used flash-proof doors and strict safety procedures. Once the shell and powder bags were ready, a hydraulic rammer pushed everything deep into the barrel. First, the shell was rammed into place. Then the powder bags followed behind it. After loading was complete, the massive breech block slammed shut and locked tight. Now the gun was ready to fire. Meanwhile, fire control teams calculated range, direction, and elevation. During World War II, these systems were some of the most advanced targeting systems in the world. The giant turret slowly rotated toward the target. The barrels elevated high into the air for long-range bombardment. Then came the command every crew member waited for: fire. The powder bags exploded inside the barrel, creating massive pressure. The shell launched forward at incredible speed. The recoil shook the entire battleship. Flames burst from the end of the barrel as smoke filled the air. The blast was so powerful it could be heard for miles. Even sailors inside the ship could feel the shockwave. Many battleships were retired, but they were used in Desert Storm. They are in museums today, but they got an upgrade. Tomahawk missile and new radar, they can still be used today, but they're mainly used as a tourist attraction. Subscribe for more content.